All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to explore a really fascinating linguistic theory, one that suggests there's this secret, ancient link between Japanese and Korean words, a story that might just be hiding in plain sight. So to get started, I have a little puzzle for you. Think about these four things: fireworks, rust, mold, and elegance. I mean, at first glance, what on earth could they possibly have in common? You've got something beautiful, a couple things that are kind of gross, and then a really abstract idea. They seem completely unrelated, right? Well, what if I told you they all share a secret linguistic root? Okay, so here are the Japanese words for those concepts: hanabi, sabi, kabi, and miyabi. As you can see, their meanings are just all over the place, which really makes this a head-scratcher. So, where could the connection possibly be hiding?
Let's start our little investigation here. The very first clue is actually hidden in the way these words sound. It's pretty subtle, but trust me, it's the key that unlocks this entire theory.
Did you hear it? Hanabi, sabi, kabi, miyabi. Yep, they all end with that exact same sound B. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so what? Lots of words end with the same sound. But here's the thing. According to this theory, that B isn't just some random suffix. It's an echo of an ancient, really dynamic verb.
So where did this echo come from? Well, for that, we need to take a quick trip across the sea to the Korean peninsula and introduce the prime suspect in our linguistic mystery. The word is pida. Now, in Korean, this verb means to bloom, like a flower. But its meaning is actually much deeper and more powerful than that. It's really about the concept of something from the inside suddenly appearing, emerging, bursting forth onto the outside. Think about a smile blooming on someone's face, or a fire blooming in a fireplace. So, this is the core of it right here. Haekko's theory suggests that the Japanese shi-bi sound is a direct descendant of the Korean verb pida. That tiny sound itself actually carries the entire meaning of to bloom or to emerge. But wait, how did P become B? And how does this solve our puzzle? Okay, now for the really cool part. We're going to follow the trail of evidence. Let's take this bloom theory and apply it to our mystery words and see if it actually holds up. This is where it gets good.
Check this out. Miyabi, elegance, is the beauty that blooms from the royal court, or miya. Hanabi, fireworks, is literally fire that blooms across the night sky. Hibi is a crack that blooms on a surface. And yorikobi is the joy that blooms outward from inside a person. I mean, suddenly, these words have this beautiful poetic logic to them, don't they?
Now, what about the phonetic forensics? How does that P sound in pida turn into a B sound in B? Well, it turns out there's a well-observed linguistic pattern for this. That strong, breathy Korean P sound has a tendency to soften into a gentler B sound when a word gets adopted into Japanese. This is a super crucial link that makes the whole theory plausible from a sound perspective.
So let's crack our first case, rust or sabi. The theory breaks it down like this. Step 1, you need the subject. The Korean word for iron or metal is so, which became saw in Japanese. Step 2, you need the action, pida, to bloom, which became B. Put them together, saw plus B, the thing that blooms on metal. That's just an incredibly vivid way to describe rust, isn't it? And for anyone wondering about that so to sa sound shift, that's explained by another pretty common linguistic pattern. Essentially, some sounds that were made with a more closed mouth in ancient Korean tended to open up in Japanese, probably just to be heard more clearly. So there's a consistent logic in how these sounds changed over time. Okay, on to our second case, mold or kabi. And guess what? We can use the exact same logic. Step 1, the subject. The Korean word for black is kam. That initial sound, K, carries over as ka. Step 2, the action. Once again, pida becomes B. So what's the result? Ka plus B. Kabi is the black thing that blooms on a surface. It just clicks. So after laying out all the evidence, this bigger picture starts to come into focus. This isn't just about a few curious words anymore. It really points to a potentially deep, shared linguistic DNA between Japanese and Korean. And what's really amazing to think about is this. B stops being just a simple, static sound on the end of a word and becomes a living, breathing concept. It's the active idea of emergence or blooming, inherited directly from that Korean verb, pida. It actually infuses these Japanese words with a sense of action and life. And you can see just how clear the formula is here. For rust, you have the subject, metal, plus the action, it blooms. For mold, you have the subject, blackness, plus the very same action, it blooms. It's an identical, really elegant structure for two completely different words, all unified by one powerful idea. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? If a connection this deep and poetic can exist between words as mundane as rust and mold, it really makes you wonder, what other ancient stories, what other hidden connections are just waiting out there to be discovered, hiding in the everyday words we all speak?